isn't it, Steve? We talk about recessions before, and we're all old enough, I guess, to remember the recession back in the 70s and live through that. But we're seeing institutions, big institutions, just crumbling before our eyes. Banks, big loan institutions. And this hasn't happened before. We're seeing the foundations of this country, the auto industry, maybe going belly up. We've never seen this before.
We have never seen this before. I think maybe our grandparents or folks a little older than that have seen it before.
Most of
course,
Congress.
I'm referring back to the Great Depression, which is the ultimate upheaval. Now, is this just like that? I don't know. Right now, I say we're somewhere between recession and depression, and it's very difficult to tell, where this is going to end. And unfortunately, I'm less optimistic every day, to be honest with you. And that's the part that I think that the stock market watchers like myself and the guys in the office and other folks I talk to, I think that's the part they find to be unsettling. Because, in our common experience, we've sort of already troughed and rebounded by now. And I think that's why so many of the bottom 1,000 right now we're at, I think, 8.1% unemployment. And to be honest with you, I think we're headed to 10%.
We're there already here in California. And actually, when you think about it, some people go off the books. They've spent all their time, and the government says, well, no more for you. So they're off, but they're still unemployed. And there's some who never apply for unemployment. So the real number is actually higher, isn't it?
Yeah, the real number is actually higher. Government statistics, the way they report government statistics changes over time. And in the way that it changes seems to be the way you might expect in a political system. The changes that they have made, basically, in my opinion, and it sounds like maybe in your opinion, it underreports the real number.
Yeah.
And if we had been using numbers, the same system we were using back in the 70s, that number would be much higher.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Same thing with the inflation numbers, but I think we're sort of entering a more dangerous period here, especially with what the Fed has in mind by printing all this money. There's no doubt in my mind that it's going to be wildly inflationary at some point in the future. And at the very point we start to maybe get off the mat, prices and interest rates will go much higher at that point.
Yes. The Fed announced just the end of this week that they're going to dump $1.2 trillion into the system to help mortgage rates go down. But, of course, as you stated, that's just going to increase inflation, which means things will be that much more expensive for all us consumers. So we're going to pare down somewhere just to buy the basics.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's that's really the stated policy of the Fed. Chairman Bernanke said that he was concerned that there was not enough inflation. The policy of the Fed is, when you cut through it, it is inflation. We constantly have to be inflating the price level, and the Fed is very busy about that these days. And then there's definitely going to come a time where all of that money, all of these stimulus money, all this Fed printing works its way back in the economy, and higher prices are without a doubt going to be the result. There's no doubt.